AMA, anti-mitochondrial antibodies, will be present in 95% of cases. If it is not confirmed with this, then liver biopsy is the diagnostic test. Primary sclerosing cholangitis is associated with inflammatory bowel disease, mostly with ulcerative colitis, and it is diagnosed by MRCP, magnetic resonance cholangiopancreatography. And the next is ANCA, TNCA, perinuclear anti-neutrophilic cytoplasmic antibodies. Autoimmune hepatitis is other autoimmune disease associated with other autoimmune diseases, and it is biochemically characterized by anti-smooth muscle antibodies, anti-nuclear antibodies, liver, kidney, and microsomal antibodies, and immunoglobulin. And if it is not confirmed with this, then the liver biopsy is the step of choice. Now we go to the page number. Now we are discussing these diseases individually. Autoimmune hepatitis is a disease of immune-mediated liver injury characterized by the presence of serum antibodies and peripheral blood T lymphocytes with self-proteins, reactive with self-proteins, a strong association with other autoimmune diseases. Other autoimmune diseases which are associated with autoimmune hepatitis are migratory polyarthritis, urticarial rashes, lymphadenopathy, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, thyrotoxicosis, myxedema, pleurisy, Coombs positive hemolytic anemia, transient pulmonary infiltrates, ulcerative colitis, glomerulonephritis, and nephrotic syndrome. These autoimmune hepatitis is divided into two types, but their histological appearance, their response to immunosuppressive therapy, and their biochemical pictures is almost same. So the type 1 autoimmune hepatitis is characterized by anti-smooth muscle antibodies and anti-nuclear antibodies and IgG hyperglobulinemia. Type B is characterized by liver, kidney, and microsomal antibodies recognizing cytochrome P452D6 expressed on the hepatocyte membrane. Is typically seen in pediatric population and can be more resistant to treatment than anti-nuclear antibody positive disease. Adults, onset of anti-liver kidney microsomal antibodies can be seen in chronic hepatitis C infection, and it is also type 2 hepatitis. There is a third type, anticellular liver antigens. Now, the clinical features of this disease. The clinical features of this disease are mostly asymptomatic, usually insidious fatigue, anorexia, eventually jaundice. The non-specific nature of the early features can lead to the diagnosis being missed in the early disease stages. In about 1/4 of patients, the onset is acute, resembling viral hepatitis, but resolution does not occur. This acute presentation can lead to extensive liver necrosis and liver failure. Other features include fever, arthralgia, vitiligo, epistaxis. Amenorrhea can occur. Jaundice is mild to moderate, occasionally absent, but signs of chronic liver disease, especially spider nevi and hepatosplenomegaly, can be present. Associated autoimmune diseases such as Hashimoto thyroiditis and rheumatoid arthritis is often present and can modulate the clinical picture. The diagnostic investigations are serological tests and the biochemical liver function tests are of hepatitis, and serological tests are anti-smooth muscle antibodies, anti-nuclear antibodies. Anti-smooth muscle antibodies are also present in infectious mononucleosis and variety of malignant diseases. Antimicrosomal antibodies occur in particularly children and adolescents. Elevated serum IgG levels are important diagnostic and treatment response feature if present, but the diagnosis is still possible in the presence of normal IgG. If the diagnosis of autoimmune hepatitis, if the diagnosis of autoimmune hepatitis is considered, then liver biopsy is the diagnostic. Liver biopsy shows portal interface hepatitis, inflammation, interface hepatitis inflammation with or without cirrhosis. Scoring system involves few parameters: serological tests, histology, and negative virological tests, and these are the histological pictures. These are the diagnostic, and it are in these parameters are included in autoimmune hepatitis criteria, international autoimmune hepatitis criteria. Management is with glucocorticoids, with the azathioprine, and these are the immunosuppressive drugs. Initially, 40 milligram of prednisolone is given, and then there is 10 milligram maintenance dose. Azathioprine can be given 1 to 1.5 milligram per kg per day. New agents such as mycophenolate, Moftil is being used in low activity diseases. Patients should be monitored for acute exacerbation with LFTs, raised transaminases and IgG screening if patient alerted, and he should be given the steroids. These are the autoimmune hepatitis serological markers: anti-nuclear antibodies, 70% anti-smooth muscle antibody, and 15% anti-mitochondrial antibody. Primary biliary cholangitis, mostly AMA, anti-mitochondrial antibodies, 95% case, 35% anti-smooth muscle antibodies, and 25 primary cholangitis. Next is the primary biliary cholangitis or primary biliary cirrhosis. In this case, the genetic susceptibility and environmental factors and involvement. It is chronic progressive cholestatic liver disease that predominantly affects women age 30 and over. It is strongly associated with presence of anti-mitochondrial antibody, which are diagnostic, and is characterized by granulomatous inflammation of the portal tracts, leading to progressive damage and eventually loss of small and middle-sized bile ducts. This in turn leads to fibrosis and cirrhosis of the liver. The condition can present with insidious onset of itching and tiredness. It may also be frequently be found incidentally as a result of routine blood cells. And in this, the biochemistry is of cholestatic jaundice. This is the natural course of the disease: genetic susceptibility and environmental triggers, certain viruses, EB virus and hepatitis A virus. Latent disease, anti-mitochondrial antibodies is present, but normal LFTs. Genetic factors: early disease, AMA positive and abnormal LFTs. Genetic factors are still continuing in amelioration of the disease: late disease, liver scarring and cirrhosis, and liver decompensation and death or liver transplant. 30% transplanted liver have recurrence of the disease. Epidemiology of this disease is more common in North Europe and North America, and female to male ratio is 9:1. Clustering of cases have been reported. suggesting environmental trigger in susceptible injury. It is more common in smokers. Immune mechanisms are clearly involved. The condition is closely associated with other autoimmune non-hepatic diseases such as thyroid disease. There is genetic association with HLA-DR8 together with polymorphism in number of other genes regulating the nature of the immune response, interleukin 12 and its receptor. AM is directed, anti-mitochondrial antibody is directed at pyruvate dehydrogenase complex, a mitochondrial enzyme complex that plays a key role in the cellular energy generation. PBC specific ANA, such as those directed at nuclear pore antigen GP210 in case of autoimmune hepatitis, this ANA is directed against whole nucleus. In this case, it is nuclear pore antigens and have a characteristic staining pattern in immunofluorescent assays, selectively binding to the nuclear rim or nuclear dot, which means that they should not be mistaken for the homogeneously staining ANA in autoimmune hepatitis. Increase in serum immunoglobulins levels are frequent, but unlike autoimmune hepatitis, it is typically IgM. Pathologically, chronic granulomatous inflammation destroys the interlobular bile ducts. Progressive lymphocyte-mediated inflammatory damage causes fibrosis, which spreads from the portal tracts to the liver parenchyma and eventually leads to cirrhosis. Associated diseases, autoimmune diseases and connective tissue diseases are associated with primary biliary cholangitis, such as systemic Zika syndrome, systemic sclerosis, celiac disease, and thyroid diseases. Hypothyroidism should always be considered. Diagnosis and investigation, the LFT shows cholestatic pattern, hypercholesterolemia, AMA is present in 95% of cases, and MRCP, magnetic resonance cholangiopancreatography, is done to exclude the biliary disease. ANA and anti-smooth muscle antibodies are present in 15% of the patient. Autoantibodies found in associated diseases may be present. Ultrasound examination shows no signs of biliary destruction. Ultrasound examination shows no sign of biliary obstruction. Cholestatic jaundice occurs in biliary cirrhosis as well as biliary obstruction, extrahepatic biliary. The histological features are PBC are poorly correlated with clinical features. Portal hypertension can develop before histological onset of cirrhosis. Management, hydrophilic bile acids, ursodeoxycholic acid, 13 to 15 milligram per kg per day improves bile flow, replaces and reduces apoptosis of biliary epithelium. Clinically, ursodeoxycholic acid improves LFTs and may slow down histological progression and has few side effects. It is therefore widely used in the treatment of PBC. The other is opticolic. It also prevents second generation ursodeoxycholic acid. If ursodeoxycholic acid fails, then opticolic acid is used. It also prevents the synthesis of bile acid and act as an agonist for nuclear farnesoid X receptor. It reduces hepatocyte synthesis of acid and approved by FDA in 2016. Immunosuppressants, glucocorticoids, azathioprine, penicillamine, cyclosporin, all been tried in PBC but of no benefit. It is unclear whether these drugs other benefit to the specific subgroup. The patients who do not respond to ursodeoxycholic acid require second line approaches to the treatment. Liver transplant should be considered once liver failure has developed and may be indicated in patients with intractable pruritus. Serum bilirubin remains the most reliable marker of declining liver function. Transplantation is associated with the excellent with an excellent 5-year survival of 80%. Although the disease recur in 1/3 of the patients at 10 years. Pruritus, it is most common symptom and it is managed with cholestyramine 4 to 16 gram daily. Orally is used before and after breakfast. Ursodeoxycholic acid should be separated from other drugs because it impair the absorption of the other drugs. Rifampicin 150 milligram titrated to a maximum of 600 milligram per day, and naltrexone 300 milligram per day, 25 milligram to 300 up to the 300 milligram day may be tried. Because in the case this pruritus is due to upregulation of opioid receptors and increased levels of endogenous opioids. The naltrexone, the other is plasmapheresis and liver support device called MARS, molecular adsorbent recirculating system. It absorbs the pruritogens. Fatigue is also a common feature, and we should also treat the osteomalacia and osteoporosis in these cases by giving calcium and vitamin D, and at times there is and bisphosphonate. AMA negative PBC, primary autoimmune cholangitis. A few patients demonstrate the clinical, biochemical and histological features of PBC but do not have detectable AMA in the serum. Serum transaminases, serum immunoglobulin levels and titers of ANA tend to be higher than AMA positive PBC. The clinical course is like the classical PBC, however, and these patients should be considered as having a variant of PBC. PBC autoimmune hepatitis overlap. A few patients with AMA and cholestatic LFTs have elevated transaminases, high serum immunoglobulin, and interface hepatitis on liver histology. In such individuals, a trial of glucocorticoids therapy may be beneficial. Primary sclerosing cholangitis. Primary sclerosing cholangitis is a cholestatic liver disease caused by diffuse inflammation and fibrosis. Primary sclerosing cholangitis is a cholestatic liver disease caused by diffuse inflammation and fibrosis. It can involve the entire biliary tree and leads to the gradual obliteration of intrahepatic and extrahepatic bile ducts and ultimately biliary cirrhosis, portal hypertension, and hepatic failure. Although considered as an autoimmune disease, evidence for an autoimmune pathophysiology is weaker than in the case of primary biliary cirrhosis and autoimmune hepatitis. The incidence is 6.3 per 100,000 in Caucasians. Cholangiocarcinoma develops in 10 to 30% of patients during the course of the disease. Primary sclerosing cholangitis is twice as common in young men. It is more, or primary biliary cirrhosis was more common in females, young females. It is more, primary sclerosing cholangitis is more common in young male. Most patients present at the age of 25 to 40, although the condition may be diagnosed at any age, and it is important cause of chronic liver disease. In children, the generally accepted diagnostic criteria involves generalized bleeding and stenosis of the biliary system on cholangiography, MRC, magnetic resonance cholangiography, or ERCP. Absence of choledocholitis or history of bile duct surgery. Absence of choledocholitis or history of bile duct surgery. Exclusion of bile duct cancer by prolonged follow-up. These are the three diagnostic criteria. One is generalized bleeding and stenosis of the biliary system on cholangiography. Number two, absence of choledocholitis or history of bile duct surgery. Exclusion, number three, exclusion of bile duct cancer by prolonged follow-up. The term secondary sclerosing cholangitis is used to describe typical changes described above when a clear predisposing factor for duct fibrosis can be identified in biliary tree system. Pathophysiology, the cause of primary sclerosing cholangitis is unknown, and there is close association with inflammatory bowel disease, particularly ulcerative colitis. About two-thirds patients with coexisting ulcerative colitis, about two-thirds of the patients have coexisting ulcerative colitis, and primary sclerosing cholangitis is the most common form of chronic liver disease in ulcerative colitis. Between 3 to 10% of patients with ulcerative colitis develop PSC, primary sclerosing cholangitis. Two-thirds of the patients with ulcerative colitis have primary sclerosing cholangitis, and 3 to 10% of the patients with primary ulcerative colitis develops primary sclerosing cholangitis, particularly those with extensive colitis and pancolitis. The prevalence of PSC is lower in patients with Crohn's disease, 1%. Patients with PSC and ulcerative colitis, patients with PSC and ulcerative colitis are at greater risk of colorectal neoplasia than those with ulcerative colitis alone. An individual who develops colorectal neoplasia are at greater risk of cholangiocarcinoma. It is currently believed that PSC is immunologically mediated disease triggered by genetically susceptible individuals by toxic and infectious agents which may gain access to the biliary tract through a leaky diseased colon. A close link with HLA A1, B8, DR3, DRW52A has been identified. The importance of immunological factor has been emphasized by the reports showing humoral and cellular abnormalities in primary sclerosing cholangitis. Perinuclear anti-neutrophilic cytoplasmic antibodies have been detected in the sera of 60 to 80% of the patients with primary sclerosing cholangitis with ulcerative colitis alone. And in 30 to 40% of patients with ulcerative with or without ulcerative colitis, and 30 to 40% of patients with ulcerative colitis. The antibody is not specific for primary sclerosing cholangitis and is found in other chronic liver diseases, 50% of patients with autoimmune hepatitis. Now, this is the magnetic resonance cholangiopancreaticogram showing the changes in primary biliary sclerosing cholangitis, dilatation and stricturing and dilatation, and bile duct bleeding. Now, the causes of associations of primary cholangitis, primary sclerosing cholangitis is associated with ulcerative colitis, Crohn's colitis, chronic pancreatitis, retroperitoneal fibrosis, Riddle's thyroiditis, retroorbital tumors, immune deficiency states, Sjogren syndrome, angioimmunoblastic lymphoma, histiocytosis X, autoimmune hemolytic anemia, autoimmune pancreatitis, and immunoglobulin G4 associated cholangitis. These are the associated conditions with primary sclerosing cholangitis. Causes of secondary sclerosing cholangitis are previous bile duct surgery with stricturing and cholangitis, bile duct stones causing cholangitis, intrahepatic infusion of 5-fluorodeoxyuridine for cancers, insertion of formalin into hepatic hydrated cyst, insertion of alcohol into hepatic tumor. This will cause then secondary sclerosing cholangitis, autoimmune pancreatitis, or immunoglobulin G4 associated cholangitis, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Clinical features, the diagnosis is often made incidentally when persistently raised serum ALP is discovered in individuals with ulcerative colitis. Most patients are asymptomatic, and in a case of ulcerative colitis, if ALP is raised, consider the possibility of primary sclerosing cholangitis. Common symptoms are fatigue, intermittent jaundice, weight loss, right upper quadrant, abdominal pain, and pruritus. Attacks of acute cholangitis are uncommon and usually follow biliary instrumentation. Physical examination is abnormal in about 50% of symptomatic patients. The most common findings are jaundice and hepatosplenomegaly. The condition may be associated with other diseases. Investigations, biochemical screening usually reveals cholestatic pattern, LFTs, but ALP and bilirubin levels are very widely in individual patients during the course of the disease. For example, ALP and bilirubin values increase during the acute cholangitis, decrease after therapy, and sometimes fluctuate for no apparent reason. So in these patients, LFTs, ALPs, and bilirubin fluctuates during the course of the disease. Modest elevation in the serum transaminases are usually seen, whereas hypoalbuminemia and clotting abnormalities are found at a late stage only. In addition to ANCA, perinuclear anti-neutrophilic cytoplasmic antibodies, low titers ANA, and anti-smooth muscle antibodies may be found in PSC but have no diagnostic significance. Serum AMA is absent. Anti-mitochondrial mitochondrial, which is a hallmark of primary biliary cirrhosis or primary biliary cholangitis. The key investigation is now MRCP, which is usually diagnostic and reveals multiple regular stricturing and dilatation. ERCP should be observed. ERCP should be reserved for when therapeutic intervention is likely to be necessary and should be followed. MRCP. On liver biopsy, ERCP is invasive investigation, MRCP is non-invasive investigation. So MRCP is done first and followed by ERCP. On liver biopsy, the characteristic early features of PSC are periductal onion skin fibrosis and inflammation with portal edema and bile ductular proliferation resulting in expansion of portal tract. This is the picture of onion skin scarring of bile duct. Onion skin scarring of bile duct. Intrahepatic, extrahepatic, both are involved. Later, fibrosis spreads, progressing inevitably to biliary cirrhosis and obliterative cholangitis. leads to the so-called vanishing bile duct syndrome. Bile ducts are vanishing. Management, there is no cure for primary sclerosing cholangitis, but management of cholestasis and its complication and specific treatment of the disease process are identified. Ursodeoxycholic acid is widely used, although the evidence to support this is limited. Ursodeoxycholic acid may have benefit in terms of reducing colonic carcinoma. The course of PSC is variable in symptoms. The course of PSC is variable in symptomatic patient. Median survival from presentation to death or liver transplantation is about 12 years. The course of PSC is primary sclerosing cholangitis is variable in symptomatic patients. Median survival from presentation to death or liver transplantation is about 12 years. About 75% of asymptomatic patients survive 15 years or more. Most patients die from liver failure. About 30% die from bile duct carcinoma, and the remainder die from colonic carcinoma. Complications of colitis. As this disease is commonly associated with ulcerative colitis. Immunosuppressive agents including prednisolone, azathioprine, methotrexate, cyclosporine have been tried. Results have generally been disappointing. Symptomatic patients often have pruritus. Management is as for PBC, that is cholestyramine, MARS or plasmapheresis or MARS, or if intractable, then liver transplant. Fatigue appears to be less prominent than primary biliary cholangitis, so it is still present in some patients. Management of complications, broad spectrum, if there is associated cholangitis, acute cholangitis, broad spectrum antibiotics, acute attack of cholangitis, but have no proven value in preventing attacks. If cholangiography shows a well-defined obstruction to the extrahepatic bile duct, dominant stricture, mechanical relief can be obtained by placement of stent or balloon dilatation performed. Is stents? It is important in this situation to give active consideration to the possibility of cholangiocarcinoma, the differential diagnosis for dominant extrahepatic stricture. Fat-soluble vitamin replacement is necessary in jaundice patients. Metabolic bone disease, usually osteoporosis, is common complication that requires treatment. Surgical treatment, surgical resection of the extrahepatic bile ducts and biliary reconstruction have limited role in the management of non-cirrhotic patients. Surgical resection of the extrahepatic bile duct and biliary reconstruction have a limited role in the management of non-cirrhotic patient with dominant extrahepatic disease. Liver transplant is the only surgical option in patients with advanced liver disease. Survival, 5-year survival is 80 to 90% in most centers. Unfortunately, the condition may recur in the graft, and there are no identified therapies available to prevent this. Cholangiocarcinoma is a contraindication to transplantation. Cholangiocarcinoma is a contraindication to liver transplantation. Colon cancer risk can be increased in patients following transplantation because of the immunosuppressive drugs used, and enhanced surveillance should be instituted. IgG4 associated cholangitis, the disease is closely related to autoimmune pancreatitis. which is present in more than 90% of the patients. IgG4 associated cholangitis often present with obstructive jaundice due to either hilar stricturing or intrahepatic sclerosing cholangitis or a low bile duct stricture. And cholangiographic appearance suggests primary sclerosing cholangitis with or without hilar cholangiocarcinoma. The serum IgG4 is often raised and liver biopsy shows a lymphoplasmacytic infiltrates. The IgG4 positive plasma cells. IgG4 positive plasma cells. An important observation is that compared to PSC, IAC appears to respond well to glucocorticoid therapies. Any question, my dear students? Any question? कैसे Any question, my dear students? इनसे वो क्वेश्चन कैसे पूछा जाएगा? कोई क्वेश्चन आया?
नहीं आया, आप
हैं? कितने स्टूडेंट्स थे?
स्टूडेंट कितने?
हाँ, इतने 133.
नहीं सर,
सारे सुन रहे हैं अभी है तो मैं फिर एक टॉपिक
स्टूडेंट है 136.
चलो लेट्स सी. अभी टाइम है ना?
जी सर, अभी 15 मिनट.
बस 15 मिनट में मैं पढ़ाता हूँ ना, वक्त ज़ाया नहीं करते इनका. ये बंद कर दो ना.
कर दे सर, चलो सर.
Now, my dear students, I am going to repeat the salient features of certain diseases once again. The page number is these are the salient features of the disease: primary biliary cholangitis, primary sclerosing cholangitis, autoimmune hepatitis. The clinical clue in primary biliary cholangitis or primary biliary cirrhosis is itching and raised ALP. And the diagnostic test is AMA, anti-mitochondrial antibody, which is present in 95% of cases. If it is negative, then we will carry out liver biopsy. Then liver biopsy is carried out. Primary sclerosing cholangitis, which is associated with ulcerative colitis, inflammatory bowel disease, most commonly in ulcerative colitis. MRCP, magnetic resonance cholangiopancreatography. This is the diagnostic test. It will show stricturing and dilatation and beading of the biliary tree, intrahepatic and extrahepatic. PNK is the perinuclear anti-neutrophilic cytoplasmic antibodies. This will be non-homogeneous ANA, NK, and in cases of primary biliary cirrhosis, the ANA will be homogeneous staining of the nucleus. Autoimmune hepatitis is associated with other autoimmune diseases. Anti-smooth muscle antibody is present in type 1 autoimmune hepatitis. ANA is also present in type 1. Liver, kidney, and microsomal antibodies are present in type B, and immunoglobulin also present in both conditions. Anti-soluble liver antigen is also present in type 2. Now we go to the primary biliary cirrhosis. It is an autoimmune It is an autoimmune disease of the liver. Liver cells are damaged by an autoimmune mechanism which is not clearly defined. Autoimmune disease. Autoimmune hepatitis is disease of immune-mediated liver injury characterized by the presence of serum antibodies and peripheral blood cells, T cell lymphocytes reactive to the self proteins. A strong association with other autoimmune diseases and high level immunoglobulins, in particular elevation of IgG, although most commonly seen in women, particularly in the second and third decades. Autoimmune hepatitis and primary biliary cirrhosis is commonly seen in young women in second and third decade. It can develop in either sex at any age. The reason for the breakdown in the immune tolerance in autoimmune hepatitis remain unclear. Both all cross reactivity with viruses such as hepatitis A virus and hepatitis Epstein-Barr virus in immunogenetically susceptible individuals, typically HLA, DR3, DR4, particularly HLA, DRB3, or DRB1 has been suggested. The serology I have already described. Clinical features are usually insidious, fatigue, anorexia, eventually jaundice. The non-specific nature of early features can lead to misdiagnosis. In about one quarter of the patients, onset is acute, resembling viral hepatitis, but the resolution does not occur. The acute presentation can lead to extensive liver necrosis and liver failure. Other features include fever, arthralgia, vitiligo, epistaxis. Amenorrhea can occur. Jaundice is mild to moderate, occasionally absent, but signs of chronic liver disease, especially spider nevi and hepatosplenomegaly, can be present. So this is quite clear. At times it presents with acute hepatitis, at times it presents with chronic liver disease without jaundice. Association of autoimmune diseases such as Hashimoto thyroiditis, rheumatoid arthritis is often present and can modulate the clinical presentation. These are the conditions which are migrating polyarthritis, urticaria rashes, lymphadenopathy, Hashimoto thyroiditis, thyrotoxicosis, myxedema, pleurisy, Crohn's positive hemolytic anemia, transient pulmonary infiltrates, ulcerative colitis, glomerulonephritis, nephrotic syndrome. These are the associated diseases. Management depends upon the scoring system, such as international autoimmune hepatitis criteria, involves the anti-smooth muscle antibodies, anti-nuclear antibodies, anti-titers, and immunoglobulin levels, and interface histopathology and biliary cirrhosis, and also involves negativity of the viral hepatitis. Treatment is viral hepatitis. Treatment is with glucocorticoids and immunosuppressive drugs. The autoimmune hepatitis, 80% anti-nuclear antibodies. These are the frequency of antibodies in chronic non-liver diseases in the healthy people. Autoimmune hepatitis, 80% ANA, 70% anti-smooth muscle antigen. Primary biliary cholangitis, 95% AMA, 35% ASM, and 25% is anti-nuclear antibodies. The primary sclerosing cholangitis, this is the primary biliary cholangitis as primary biliary cirrhosis when it is a chronic progressive cholestatic liver disease that predominantly affects women age 30 and over. It is a primary biliary cholangitis is a chronic progressive progressive cholestatic liver disease that predominantly affects women aged 30 and over. It is strongly associated with presence of antimitochondrial antibodies, which are diagnostic and characterized by granulomatous inflammation of the portal tract, leading to progressive damage and eventually loss of the small and middle sized bile. The, this in turn leads to fibrosis and cirrhosis of the liver. The condition can be an insidious onset of itching and tiredness. It can frequently be found incidentally as routine blood test. I have shown you already the natural course of the disease may be patient antimitochondrial antibody positive, normal LFTs, abnormal LFTs, late disease with liver scarring and cirrhosis, liver scarring and cirrhosis, and liver cirrhosis will lead to liver decompensation, death, or liver transplant, 30% disease recurrence. Genetic and environmental factors involved in this disease process. Immune mechanisms are clearly involved. The condition is closely associated with the autoimmune non-hepatic disease such as the thyroid disease, and there is an association with HLA-DR8 together with polymorphism in a number of other genes regulating the nature of the immune response, interleukin 12 and its receptor. The M is directed at the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex and causes the cell death due to cellular injury, cellular energy generation, loss of cellular energy generation mechanism. PBC specific ANA, such as those with directed at nuclear pore antigen G glycoprotein 210, have a selectively binding to the nuclear rim or nuclear dots, which means that they are not to be mistaken homogeneously staining ANA. And immunoglobulin IgM is raised. Clinical features, systemic symptoms such as fatigue is common. Systemic pruritus, it takes years to follow, and then there is jaundice, takes years to follow. Itching is usually, jaundice is rarely presenting feature. Itching is usually worse on the limbs, although there are maybe right upper abdominal discomfort, fever, and rigors do not occur. Bone pain and fracture rarely result from the osteomalacia and osteoporosis. Initially, the liver patients are well nourished later and show scar marks, and later they become wasted due to steatorrhea. The associated diseases are Zika syndrome, systemic sclerosis, celiac disease, thyroid disease. There is jaundice is prominent only late in the disease and can become intense. Xanthomatous deposits occur in minority, especially around the eyes. Mild hepatomegaly is common, and splenomegaly becomes increasingly common as the portal hypertension develops. Liver failure and may supervene. So, fatigue, pruritus, bone pains and fractures, and jaundice is followed by xanthomas, mild hepatomegaly, splenomegaly, portal hypertension, and cirrhosis. Diagnosis and investigation LFT shows cholestatic pattern, and AMA is positive. MRCP to exclude the extrahepatic biliary obstruction. The treatment is ursodeoxycholic acid and obeticholic acid, which prevent the synthesis of bile acids. There is no role of immunosuppressive drugs. Liver transplantation should be considered in patients with intractable pruritus. Serum bilirubin remains the most reliable marker of declining liver function. Transplantation is associated with an excellent 5-year survival over 80%. Although the disease will recur in over 1/3 of the patients at 10 years. Pruritus is treated with cholestyramine and the anion resin, 4 to 16 gram daily. Then the fatigue is malabsorption for vitamin D and calcium, steatoria, and leads and celiac disease leads to the malabsorption of fat soluble vitamins, and this in so these patients should be managed with vitamin D3 and calcium and bisphosphonates. Overlap syndrome, AM negative PBC and PBC and autoimmune hepatitis. Primary sclerosing cholangitis is a खत्म हो गया, चलो ठीक हो गया, थैंक यू वेरी मच। हाँ अब क्या करूँ, स्टॉप शेयर, ये हो गया, चलो।